Hey everybody, welcome to the Horror Appraisal. We got another awesome show for you today. I'm Sam.
And I'm Evan.
And we got presented a short film online called Drudge. And it's this really awesome new serial killer movie, slasher film. We've been watching it all week, kind of studying a little bit. We have the director on with us today, Kheireddine El-Helou. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. It's our pleasure. Well, we'll jump right in. Firstly, we've watched Drudge several times. We absolutely love it, man. But we wanted to start by asking about you a little bit. What can you tell us about yourself? How'd you enter the film industry?
Yeah, well, I'm from Los Angeles, so you're sort of surrounded by opportunities growing up here, and I came up through the post-production world. So at 19, I got my first job as like a post PA. And at 21, I was able to get into the Editors Guild, just by meeting really cool editors. It sort of mentored me along the way. And then as of recently, I was like a lead editor on an HBO series that premieres in 2015, which I've actually kind of stepped away to focus on Drudge and some other cool opportunities that have come up recently. So it's been a fun ride, but that's how it sort of has transitioned to now.
Awesome. We've read your editing resume, and it's pretty impressive. You got the 300 sequel. You've got the Muppet movies, which are it's pretty impressive. I mean, it impresses me and Bruno and stuff. So how did all that prepare you for your directorial debut?
Yeah, I mean, well, in post-production, what it is you're taking a writer's vision, a director's vision, and then you're combining all those visions and rewriting the story and making it flow properly. And, it's a learning process. And there have been times where you're rewriting a movie in the post-production process. And, you're sort of understanding, well, why does this scene work? And why does this scene, why doesn't this scene work? And sometimes it can be because of, tonal issues or even coverage. I mean, it's just, you learn so much of how to properly build a scene and then string it together to tell a story. So I think that's where post-production really helped me sort of develop. I put it as I was going to school and getting paid for it, Yeah. So it's a situation.
Awesome.
We're talking about your editing resume. You've worked on a lot of family films. You've worked on some action stuff. You've worked on comedy. What made you choose horror for your kind of first directing project? Is it something you've always loved, and what is it about horror you find so appealing?
Yeah, actually, I'm a huge fan of horror.
Awesome.
And but working in horror in the industry, it's not as, I don't know how to put it, but it was never a world that I was sort of circling in. My opportunities were always in the comedy world, and I love comedies. Who doesn't like a good comedy?
They kind of mix a little bit.
What was that?
They kind of mix a little bit, and they kind of play on each other.
Yeah, like you watch like Cabin in the Woods or something like that. I mean, they're movies where now that they go hand in hand, and so. But I just found myself in the comedy world, so it's not like I specifically went looking for that, but that's where the opportunities came in post production, and. But I'm a huge horror fan. And so when I developed this thing for Drudge, it was like, I need to take time off of work and sort of bring this guy to life. And so I took a year off of work to bring Drudge, pre-production. I did all the costumes, all the production design, did a lot of special effects and then visual effects and cut it. And, so it was a long process that I was able to focus on. So that was a good time.
Right on. What can you tell us about the killer in Drudge? What inspires him? What are his motivations?
Yeah. So, who Drudge is? He is a psychopath engineer, and I think this is his adrenaline rush. The way he kind of puts this all together, and it's sort of, he gets to build these babies, these toys, and then he gets to play with them. And it's almost like a little kid who is mental,
Cool.
But what the feature is, because that's what we're transitioning into,
nice.
Is, we turned him into this legend in a small town. And it's sort of like someone has resurrected that image and is very real. And just to give you guys a little sneak of what it is, there's a really gruesome murder that happens in this town, and they send in the big city cop to kind of figure out what's going on here. And it automatically is a fish out of water story. This guy enters this really creepy snow globe of a world. And as he starts digging, he's like, this isn't a legend. This is a very real thing. And maybe he gets too close to it.
Cool.
Nice.
That sounds awesome.
Thank you. That's awesome. That's a nice reveal.
What can you tell us, as far as you kind of designing the killer's equipment and that creation process, the equipment and accoutrement he uses in the short film, was that pretty fun for you to come up with and create? And
yeah, so that little 50-second intro where it's him building, that was the garage where I actually built the whole costume. So I kind of tell people that that was me for a couple months. I was this weirdo in a garage building this arm. It's fully functional, and building this mask and putting together this costume. And it was a learning process. Sometimes there are versions of that arm that no one has seen, but it transformed over time into what it is today. And so it was sort of just taking a swing at it and see what can we come up with here.
Cool.
And so that was fun.
It's a lot like the Predator kind of deal. I was saying when we watched it, the killer reminds me of Predator versus Nail Gun Massacre. But not cheesy.
I actually don't know what Nail Gun Massacre is.
Oh, it's kind of cheesy, but it's basically somebody that wears an air pack, and she's she's a victim, and she gets revenge on people by using a nail gun. And the cheese comes in because her voice is all distorted. She's wearing she's wearing a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun to watch. What has the film festival circuit been like for you, and what seemed to be people's reactions overall?
Yeah, so we did a really fun year film festival run. We actually premiered October of last year at Screamfest, which is the coolest place to sort of premiere. And after every screening, we'll have someone walk up and be like, who is Drudge? We want more of this guy. And we walked into it knowing that it was sort of like a teaser. And, there's always just that excitement where, why did you do that? Give us more than just that. And so that's always a really fun thing when people walk up to you and, they kind of connect with the material. And we did a lot of horror circuits as far as film festival run, but we also got into some festivals that aren't horror film festivals, which is, I think, a pretty cool notch on the project when you can sort of branch out into a wide audience. So we were at Catalina and at Film Festival. We were in Oklahoma City at Dead Center Film Festival. These are pretty top-notch, broad film festivals. And it was a unique experience to be mixed in with that group and then mixed in with the horror film festivals. And then we sort of wrapped it up a couple weeks ago at the NBC Universal Short Film Festival. We were the only horror short there, and we took home the Chiller Award, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a really fun year of sort of taking the project around, and with that you get to meet a lot of cool people, and it's just opportunities definitely open up with I would say if you're on the film festival run, the best thing to do is go to the film festival and meet the people there, because everyone's excited to collaborate and meet new filmmakers, and so it's been a good ride. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we would definitely love to see a feature-length film of Drudge. We can't wait, man. We can't wait.
Yeah, it's a good trip.
Yeah. We usually like to do a couple little fun questions here too. I'll start by asking you, what are some of your favorite horror films?
Yeah. Well, I think I can easily say The Shining. I mean,
Cool.
That's like an easy one.
Yes.
A film that I don't think gets enough credit is Jeepers Creepers. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of Jeepers Creepers. I've seen that movie probably too many times. And then, I'd say even like Jaws is a horror film to me, and I love Jaws. You guys mentioned Predator. Obviously, Predator is in there, but someone who another movie I kind of grew up watching, Terminator 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie too many times.
Yes.
And So those are probably the ones that kind of stand out right now.
Cool.
But I gave you like a list, but
that's all right.
So,
Well, my silly question is, if you could be killed in any way in a horror film by any person or any way, how would you go?
just slice the head off. Just get it over with.
Just quick? Just quick? Why is everybody so
Yeah,
quick?
just do it quick. I don't want none of that saw torture stuff.
Yeah, none of that snuff stuff. Well, hey man, before we let you go, we're gonna let everybody know where to view the short film. We'll link it in our interview here. Yeah. What else do you have that you really want to add or throw out there for anybody?
Well, I have to say I really appreciate sort of the reaction to Drudge. I mean, even you guys being fans of it and being so kind as far as, just being enjoying. Yeah, I mean, it's really fun. You put a lot of hard work into this stuff, and then when you're able to grab an audience and they want more of it, it's sort of like the nicest compliment ever. Mm-hmm. So I'm just excited to do more with Drudge, and and even with that, I got to meet a lot of cool filmmakers that I'll probably end up working on some other really cool projects. So it's definitely opened up some really cool doors, and I'm excited to do more. Cool. So, yeah, that's what it is. Right, definitely check out Drudge.
Right. I know I said
Drudge.com, all of that. Drudge the movie at Twitter.
Cool.
So it'll be fun.
Plug away, brother. Plug away.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Drudge is the slasher, the next big slasher.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is Kheireddine El-Helou, director of Drudge. You saw him here.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being with us today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much. This was fun. I appreciate it.
No problem. Right, we'll definitely be looking forward to the future for everything with you.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.